Now let's add some color to our snowman by creating some materials and adding them to our snowman model. To make life easier, open up the snowman group and let's add color to the body first. So we've done this before. Come into the materials manager and you can click create new material. I just prefer to just double click in the blank area in the materials manager. Here's MAT matte, double click on that to bring it up. So let's call this snowman. And I want the snowman just a little bit different color than the snow, you know. And I'm thinking that if I add just a little bit of a blue tint, just the slightest blue to the snowman. So I'm going to move the slider back and forth until I'm in the blue area, maybe like an aqua blue. And then I'm going to grab the slider in the center and pull it up. And I don't want to, again, overdo it. It's just like the slightest hint of blue so it'll stand out from the snow background that it's sitting on. So that's cool. I renamed it. I'm at 12% of this blue color here. So close that up. And just like we did before, click, hold, and drag a material and drag it into the object manager. And I can drop it onto the body group, okay? Just drop it on the entire group. And the tag will show up. All the stuff within this group will have that same texture applied to it. So if I hit render view, we should be able to see a slight blue tint to the snowman eventually. There it goes. And it does. It stands out just a little tiny bit from the white background. So that's cool. Okay, we can close up that. Let's make a texture for the carrot. Double click, double click. Always name your textures because you're going to have a whole bunch of them. Okay, so carrot. So let's move the slider into the orange area, and we can kind of saturate this a little bit because it's kind of a cartoony thing. In fact, I want it more of a red orange. Okay, so I got I'll just zoom in here and you can take a look at the sliders, and you can it doesn't have to be exact. You don't have to exactly copy me. Just get something carroty looking. I might even go a little bit more reddish, a little bit. And that's cool. I renamed it. I'm only messing around with the color channel. Don't mess around with any of these other channels yet. We will later in the course. You can drag and drop the material right onto the object into the viewport. However, I find this to be a problem sometimes because you got to be really, really precise. So click, hold, and drag carrot texture to the carrot object in our snowman. And I'm not going to do a quick render just to save time. Okay, so I got eyes, mouth, buttons, and that's all made out of coal. So let's make a coal texture, double clicking, name it right away before you do anything. Even when I'm painting, on a canvas, I don't, or doing digital art for that matter, I don't like to use a pure black as a black. I like to use a dark color, it depends on what color palette I'm using. Since there seems like there's a lot of blues in this project we're working on so far, I'm going to go into the deep blue part of the spectrum, and let me crank up the saturation here, and I'm going to really make this super duper dark. It's almost black. Okay, but there is just a hint of this dark blue in there. To me, it just has more aesthetic appeal. So I'll just zoom in on the color slider I have here, and you can emulate that. To me, this just adds a little bit more of aesthetic appeal than just a pure black. If the predominant palette here was like warmer colors, like an orange, I would do the same thing. I would make it an extraordinarily dark orange instead of a black. But okay, so I'm using a dark blue here for the coal, dark, super dark blue. And let's look over here. So yeah, see, we grouped it as coal, so I forgot what I did in the last video. So just drag and drop your coal texture on top of coal. You can make another texture for the hat just to save time. I'm going to use the same coal texture for a hat. Okay, so I'm dragging and dropping coal texture on top of hat. That's cool. You can do that. No problem. Oh, I forgot the arms. Okay, let's double click down here to make a new material. And the arms are going to be like a sticky, woody color. So that is going to be in the orange area somewhere. But it's going to be a darker, kind of woody orange. And once again, I'll just zoom in here so you can see what parameters I'm using for the color. And I forgot, I remember to name it, so I'm going to call this arms, I guess. I could call it sticks, whatever. And remember, if you're not happy with these colors, you can always go back and edit them. So, for example, if I render this and I find out I really hate my carrot color, I can just double click on it. I can edit it, change it to anything the heck I want to, close it, and it'll update, you know, in the viewer here. So let's do a Command S first before we do anything. Hit render view. Check out your handiwork. And we're waiting. And eventually, ta-da! Okay, so that's looking pretty nice. We're going to tweak, at the end of towards the end of the project, we'll tweak some settings. For example, the snow I'm looking at is like really dull and yucky. I'm going to brighten that up eventually. Don't worry about that. We'll get to it. Likewise, the sky is really boring. I might add more saturation to the sky. So we're, you know, this is still a work in progress. But we're in pretty good shape here. So do a Command S or Control S on the PC. And I'll see you in the next video.